Yes. Thank you, Madam President Rice, for a point of personal privilege for an announcement.
Please do.
If I can fix this. Members, I would ask for your attention. This is pretty important. I'm just going to read this real quickly. On March 25th, Health Canada issued a memo regarding the safety of face masks that contain graphene or bio-based graphene. Now, graphene is exfoliated graphite to a very small layer of nanoscopically thin flakes of hexagonally arranged carbon atoms. It is also either just straight graphene or bio-based graphene, which is derived from bio-waste. Production of carbon nanotubes out of graphene are very similar to asbestos fibers, and the inhalation of graphene nanotubes is detrimental to a person's health. The memo sent by Health Canada to Canadian provincial and territorial ministries of health read in part, Health Canada has conducted a preliminary risk assessment which identified a potential for early pulmonary toxicity associated with the inhalation of nanoform graphene. Now, to remind you guys, we had a shortage of PPE, and the idea was to create a way to reuse those masks. So the idea came about to put graphene, which is microscopic fibers, to coat the mask so you could easily wash it. To date, Health Canada has not received data to support the safety and efficacy of face masks containing nanoform graphene. They went on to say, as such, and in the absence of manufacturers' evidence to support the safe and effective use of nanoform graphene-coated masks, Health Canada considers the risk of these medical devices to be unacceptable. And you will notice that we have some of those here. We've got the black masks, and they have that kind of a film on them that makes them resistant to water. We've got a couple different forms. So if you've been using these masks, I want to warn you that they are currently not considered safe. Let's talk more about graphene. Graphene, a sheet of graphene of 1 atom in thickness is rolled into a tube. This creates a single-walled carbon nanotube. Layers of these graphene sheets can be rolled in order to create multi-walled carbon nanotubes, which have slightly different properties. And this is important. Carbon nanotubes, or CNTs, and graphene are considered harmful and may cause a serious cancer called malignant mesothelioma. You may remember that malignant mesothelioma is usually caused by asbestos. And I unfortunately know this quite well because it was this terrible and mean cancer that killed my mother in 2002. A study titled Mesothelioma, Identical Routes to Malignancy from Asbestos and Carbon Nanotubes, published in 2019, says in its abstract, exposure of laboratory mice to carbon nanotubes, which is what is in these masks, mimics exposure to asbestos from the initial and chronic inflammation through the loss of the same tumor suppressor pathways and eventual sporadic development of malignant mesothelioma. Fibers of a similar nature may pose significant health risks to humans. So I want to repeat what the warning from the Health Canada said. As such, and in the absence of manufacturers' evidence to support the safe and effective use of nanoform graphene-coated masks, Health Canada considers the risk of these medical devices to be unacceptable. Medical devices. Members of this body and members of the public, let us reevaluate where we have arrived as a society where we force medical measures on the masses in the name of fear. Any medical action, from one as simple as donning a mask to one so invasive as forcing an experimental, non-FDA approved substance such as the mRNA vaccine, must never be compulsory. The human body is sovereign, and not one person has the right to force a medical action on another, especially when risk is involved, even this mask. Most importantly, we are forcing school children to breathe through these masks at school and during exercise without addressing the issue of graphene and its potential dangers. Those who cannot wear a mask are still being forced in the school system. Parents should be the decision makers when it comes to their child's health. Therefore, I am calling on the governor to address this shocking development regarding graphene-coated masks. I implore him to immediately rescind Executive Order 2021-04 that requires school children in public and charter schools to wear them without exemption. I am emphatically calling on Doug Ducey to immediately begin an education campaign regarding the potential dangers of these masks and to respect parents' rights to make this decision for their child. Thank you.